Have you ever found yourself at a crossroads, facing challenges that seem insurmountable? Perhaps it felt like you were staring into the abyss, and yet, against all odds, you emerged on the other side, lighter and somehow transformed. In those moments of adversity, it's easy to cling to the comforting myth that healing should follow a neat, orderly path. But what if I told you that healing and karma are not linear at all? What if I suggested that embracing the chaos could be the key to true transformation? This journey of healing, as many of us have experienced, is filled with twists and turns, much like a winding road through dense fog. Elisabeth Kübler-Ross, a pioneer in understanding grief and personal transformation, posits that our experiences, even the painful ones, are vital to our soul's evolution. Have you ever stopped to think about how these experiences shape who you are? And how, through understanding and acceptance of those experiences, you can truly evolve? Imagine standing on the edge of a cliff, feeling the wind whip around you as you take in the view. Every gust represents a challenge you faced. Some are fierce, knocking you off balance, while others seem to gently nudge you forward. This is the duality of life. The juxtaposition of resistance and acceptance can often feel overwhelming. Yet is it in manipulating that duality where you find the real answers? Kübler-Ross described the stages of grief with a focus that allows us to explore the complexities of our emotions: denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. These stages are not steps to climb, but rather states to experience. What if I asked you to reflect on your last significant challenge? Did you glide effortlessly into acceptance, or did you stumble through denial and anger for a while? Let's consider denial first. It's a natural refuge when we encounter something too painful to reckon with. You might say, "This isn't happening. If I ignore it, it will go away." But awareness doesn't just drift away. It lingers and creeps into the corners of your life. What opportunities for growth have you missed by denying your reality? Then comes anger, a raw and powerful emotion that often feels unmanageable. It's as if you were carrying a heavy backpack filled with rocks, each representing a source of anger. You might think releasing that anger will mean releasing your identity, but isn't confronting it actually a step towards freedom? When you allow yourself to feel anger, it can turn from a weight into a catalyst for change. Can you recall a moment where anger sparked a change in your perspective? As you reflect on these emotions, it's essential to understand that there is no right way to process them. Emotions often overlap and intertwine, refusing to adhere to a tidy sequence. Yet, in this chaotic mix lies the truth about your healing journey. The challenges you face can often feel like an unwelcome intruder in your life. But what if these intruders are actually teachers in disguise? What if acknowledging them can lead to profound self-discovery? The complexities of healing push us to confront our shadows instead of running from them. By doing so, we create a fertile ground for growth. This journey, full of grief and liberation, nudges you towards new realms of understanding. You begin to realize that healing does not follow rules. It follows your heart, your experiences, your timeline. So, if you're curious to delve deeper into the mysteries of healing and the human soul, why not take a step forward? Subscribe now and hit the notifications bell to uncover more insights that might just resonate with you, guiding you to embrace your journey with all its complexities and contradictions. Understanding this dance between chaos and healing can usher in profound changes. Every twist may feel daunting, but remember that illumination often follows the darkest nights. Embrace this journey, for it has something unique to teach you about yourself and your soul's evolution. As we transition from the illusion of order in our healing journeys, we find ourselves confronting two powerful emotions, denial and anger. Have you ever noticed how often we cling to denial? When faced with painful truths, it can feel like a protective shield, allowing us to exist in a world that seems safer, at least for a moment. We tell ourselves that if we ignore the problem, it might just resolve itself. But does it? What if, instead of shielding ourselves, we could greet these emotions as vital parts of our healing? Denial can be a comforting place to hide, but it often stunts our growth. Consider a long-forgotten room in your house, filled with boxes left unopened. What happens when you finally decide to open those boxes? Dust clouds may rise, and the mess might seem overwhelming at first, but within those boxes are treasures, memories, lessons, and perhaps even reminders of who you once were and who you might want to become. This moment of awakening is similar when we confront our truths, no matter how painful. That's standing at the door to that room, heart racing, feeling the weight of what's inside. That's denial pulling you back, whispering, "Stay safe, don't open that door." But what happens when you muster the courage to step inside? Confronting that's standing at the door to that room, heart racing, feeling the weight of what's inside. That's denial pulling you back, whispering, "Stay safe, don't open that door." But what happens when you muster the courage to step inside? Confronting what's hidden, your fears, disappointments, and even your unresolved grudges can be the catalyst for change. Then comes anger, often a companion to denial. It erupts like a volcano after being dormant for too long, releasing pent-up emotions and frustrations. You may find yourself asking, "Why is this happening to me?" Emotions can hit hard, feeling like waves crashing against the shore. They can toss you around, leaving you gasping for breath. But what if, instead of resisting that anger, you allowed yourself to feel it fully? Anger, when expressed healthily, can illuminate the path to understanding. It burns away the fog of confusion, revealing boundaries that may have been crossed. It shows you where there is hurt that needs addressing. In many ways, anger can act like a fierce yet caring guide, pushing you towards action. Have you ever felt that spark of motivation arise from your anger, urging you to advocate for yourself or to change an uncomfortable situation? Let's look at this through the lens of frustration stemming from unmet expectations. Perhaps you lost a job you loved or faced a betrayal from a friend. In that moment, the feeling of anger can be transformative. It asks pressing questions. Why did this happen? What do I need to do to protect myself moving forward? Each of these questions is a stepping stone toward healing, revealing layers of insecurity and fear that you can address head on. As you continue on this journey, recognize that denial and anger, though often perceived as destructive, can serve a profound purpose. They are, after all, messengers to your heart. When you welcome these emotions instead of pushing them away, you allow yourself a fuller understanding of your inner landscape. So let's ask ourselves, how often do we ignore these feelings in favor of perceived calm? When you begin to explore your anger, you might just find the courage to tackle other emotions lingering beneath the surface. Instead of viewing your emotional experiences as a hindrance, consider them as integral parts of your soul's story. I encourage you to take a moment today to reflect on your own experiences. Have you ever been caught in the cycle of denial, feeling trapped by the need to protect yourself from pain? Or perhaps you've let anger flow through you, transforming it from a source of shame into a call to action. If you find yourself resonating with these themes, I invite you to leave a comment below and share your journey. Our stories have the power to connect us, and your experience could provide insights that help someone else navigating their own emotional labyrinth. By openly discussing denial and anger, we acknowledge their importance in the healing process, recognizing them not as obstacles, but as vital teachers leading us toward personal growth and transformation. Remember, it's okay to feel these emotions. They are valid, and paying attention to them can forge a stronger connection with your true self. Together, let's embrace this journey with open hearts, honoring every feeling along the way. Each step you take allows you to breathe deeper and heal more completely. As we navigate through denial and anger, we often find ourselves entering yet another emotional landscape: negotiation. This stage can be surprisingly deceptive, as it masquerades as an opportunity for healing when, in reality, it often ties us to our pain in ways we don't fully recognize. Have you ever caught yourself bargaining with your circumstances, telling yourself, if I just do this one thing, maybe I can avoid the real hurt? It's a common impulse, yet it can trap you in a quagmire of unfulfilled expectations. Negotiation frequently manifests as a silent promise to ourselves that if we fulfill certain conditions, our pain will dissipate. You may find yourself thinking, if only I had done this differently, or if I promise to be a better person, I can escape these feelings. But here's the vital truth. The burdens we carry don't simply disappear because we strike a deal with ourselves. The weight of the past doesn't lighten by mere wishful thinking, but instead requires a deeper engagement. Think about a time when you tried to negotiate with your emotions. Perhaps it was after a breakup or the loss of a job. Did you find yourself thinking something like, if I can just make it through this week without feeling sad, I'll be fine? Or maybe you thought, if I just work harder, maybe everything will return to how it used to be. These thoughts can be rooted in a desire for control, an instinctive effort to shield yourself from uncomfortable truths. But here lies the paradox. Bargaining can lead to a kind of inertia. When you focus on negotiations rather than acknowledging how you truly feel, you might end up stuck in a loop. You may even experience a deepening sense of depression as the realization that your efforts are in vain sets in. How often have you felt disheartened when your deals with yourself fall apart? It's a painful cycle, one that can leave you feeling like you're in quicksand. Have you ever paused to consider how this negotiation manifests in your daily life? Imagine being in a conversation with yourself filled with what-ifs and buts. The more you engage in this internal negotiation, the more entangled you become. You might find yourself asking, what if I never get over this? Or what if I always feel this way? In these moments, it's crucial to notice these thoughts and recognize them as reflections of your struggle rather than as definitive truths. Kübler-Ross's work outlines these emotions as stages of grief, showing that each emotion serves a purpose. When we transition from anger to negotiation, we're often grappling with our past wounds that refuse to heal easily. Recognizing this is the first step toward liberating ourselves from the chains of our own making. Instead of getting mired in the negotiation, consider an alternative approach, embracing your past. Let's use the metaphor of a river. The flow of the river represents your past experiences. You cannot go upstream to erase the rocks along the riverbed. Instead, you can learn to navigate around them. Acceptance of your journey means recognizing that every twist and turn has contributed to who you are today. Have you considered how negotiating with your pain might instead be transformed into seeking understanding? Rather than making promises to yourself that you might not be able to keep, focus on asking productive questions. What did this experience teach me? How has it shaped my current self? By approaching your past through curiosity rather than compulsion, you open the door to healing and wholeness. So ask yourself, what does your negotiation look like? Is it tender and insightful, or is it harsh and unrealistic? Are you ready to let go of the need for control and allow yourself to simply be? I invite you once again to reflect deeply. What strategies do you use when you find yourself entangled in old wounds? How can you shift your perspective from one of negotiation to one of understanding? Feel free to share your insights in the comments below. By engaging with this community, you not only enrich your journey, but also offer encouragement to others navigating the challenging waters of their own pasts. Understanding that negotiation doesn't lead to healing can be as liberating as it is daunting. Together, let's find pathways that draw us towards acceptance rather than entrapment, allowing us to move forward and integrate our experiences into a balanced view of life. As always, remember, healing demands that we gently embrace even the most uncomfortable emotions, acknowledging their roles in our ongoing story. Only then can we genuinely transcend our struggles, freeing ourselves from the shackles of the past and stepping into a more authentic present. After moving through denial, anger, and negotiation, we often find ourselves facing the heavy veil of depression. This stage can feel insurmountable. It's as if a thick fog has descended upon your life, obscuring not only your path forward, but also your sense of self. Have you experienced days when the weight of the world felt crushing, leaving you isolated and longing for a glimmer of hope? It's important to recognize that this feeling is a natural, albeit painful, part of the healing journey. Elisabeth Kübler-Ross emphasized that depression is not merely sadness. It's a profound and often overwhelming acknowledgement of loss. It may accompany various life transitions, be it the end of a relationship, job loss, or even the fading of dreams and aspirations. This is not weakness, but rather a process of coming to terms with what you had hoped for and what you have lost. The question worth pondering is, how do we honor these feelings instead of allowing them to engulf us? Imagine standing in a darkened room where the only source of light is a tiny window high above. The darkness feels heavy, but you know that light exists just beyond your reach. Instead of solely trying to escape the darkness, could you pause and simply sit with it for a moment? Embracing depression means recognizing the truths that lie within it. What messages does it convey about your desires and fears? What realizations emerge when you give yourself permission to feel this way? Take a moment to consider how you might be tempted to dismiss or suppress your feelings of sadness. Perhaps you have been involved in the relentless hustle of life, convincing yourself that being busy equates to healing. It's easy to think that if you keep moving, you won't have to face the darkness. But in doing so, you miss the opportunity to understand the underlying truths wrapped within your feelings. Kübler-Ross demonstrates that while depression can seem like a descent into despair, it also fosters an essential kind of introspection. It gives you the space to reflect on your needs and desires. Perhaps it reveals connections with others that have faded, those whose presence once brought you joy but now seem distant. In that introspective space, can you ask yourself, what is this depression inviting me to explore? Instead of simply labeling this stage a negative experience, consider it as a vital part of your landscape. In doing so, you give yourself permission to engage with what you're going through. You honor the sadness that arises, perhaps as a deep sorrow over an unfulfilled dream or the grief of losing someone special in your life. Rather than fighting against those feelings, what if you embrace them as part of your journey? A powerful approach to navigating depression is to engage in dialogue with it. Writing can be a particularly effective tool. Have you ever kept a journal or written letters to yourself? You can express all the emotions swirling within you, anger, sadness, confusion, pouring them onto the page. This practice can lead to unexpected revelations. As you unearth your feelings, you may find insights that enable you to reshape your perspective. Now I invite you to reflect. What happens when you sit with your depression instead of running from it? What do you learn about your needs and desires during this journey? It could be as simple and as profound as discovering the importance of connection or the necessity of self-compassion. If this resonates with you, I encourage you to share your experience in the comments section. By telling your story, you not only liberate yourself, but can also inspire others who might be wrestling with the heaviness of their own emotional battles. Understanding that depression is not an endpoint, but a passage can be liberating. It invites movement toward acceptance and ultimately toward light. By allowing yourself to engage with your darker emotions, you cultivate a deeper understanding of joy and fulfillment when they return. You begin to recognize that every peak is complemented by a valley, and in traversing this landscape, you discover resilience. Embrace this stage, however difficult it may seem, as an essential part of your story. This is where you begin to gather the threads of your being, weaving them into a tapestry that encompasses both light and shadow. Only by acknowledging each aspect of yourself can you take meaningful steps toward acceptance and healing. Remember, the journey is yours to navigate, and every emotion has its own rightful place along the way. As we navigate through the maze of emotions, we finally encounter the light of acceptance. This stage can feel like a gentle sigh of relief, as if, after a long storm, you are witnessing the first rays of sunlight breaking through the clouds. Acceptance may seem like an elusive concept, something to strive for in your healing journey, but it isn't simply about resignation or giving up. Rather, it represents a profound acknowledgement of reality, a willingness to embrace the totality of your experiences. Imagine standing on a vast shoreline, the waves crashing at your feet. Each wave represents a moment of your life, both the joyful and the painful. Some waves are gentle, while others can be overwhelming. Acceptance occurs when you recognize that, just like those waves, both joy and sorrow are integral parts of your experience. The question is, how can you learn to ride the waves instead of being knocked over by them? Kübler-Ross emphasized that acceptance is not about forgetting your pain, but about integrating it into your personal narrative. It's about recognizing that what has happened to you does not define your worth, but rather contributes to the ongoing evolution of who you are. Have you considered how moments of acceptance have surfaced in your life? Perhaps there was a time when you allowed yourself to feel sadness over a loss, or embraced the difficulties that came with a significant change. When you reach this point, you may begin to feel a sense of peace wash over you, moving beyond the drama of denial, anger, negotiation, and depression. You start realizing that these emotions are not enemies. They are vital chapters in your story. Reflecting on your experiences, you can ask yourself, what have I learned that can illuminate my path forward? Embracing acceptance often involves gratitude for those lessons, a reshaping of your reality into something rich and textured. Acceptance doesn't require you to approve of or like the events that shaped your life. It simply asks you to honor their existence, to recognize the growth they instilled within you. Just as a tree weathers storms and emerges stronger, so can you. Rather than avoiding the heartache or pretending it doesn't exist, consider how you can lift your gaze from the storm to see the resilience blooming around you. This transformative shift allows for deeper connections with others too. As you practice acceptance, the understanding of your own vulnerabilities can foster empathy. Have you noticed how sharing your struggles can open avenues for connection? Discussing your path through grief or sorrow can resonate with others, encouraging them to reflect on their own journeys. Think back to the imagery of the shoreline. As you stand there, what does it feel like to acknowledge each wave as part of a larger ocean? The fluctuations of delight and despair intermingle to create a beautiful vastness of human experience. Acceptance is your surfboard, offering you stability as the waves crash around you. It allows you to ride the waters of life with grace, not fear. Can you recall a conversation you had that was grounded in mutual understanding? By sharing acceptance of your struggles, you create a safe space, allowing others to share their stories in turn. This can be a transformative encounter. How often do you feel that you're not alone in your struggles when you see someone else brave enough to share theirs? Acceptance expands your capacity for resilience, offering you tools to confront future challenges with a sense of empowerment. It serves as a reminder that while life may throw curveballs, you possess the strength to bend and navigate your way. Freeing yourself from the need to fix everything can be liberating. To embrace acceptance is to cultivate a compassionate relationship with yourself. It can become a practice, a daily reminder to breathe through uncertainty and to honor your feelings without judgment. This is a gentle nudge to acknowledge that while life can be difficult, it is also beautiful and worth engaging with fully. If you find these concepts resonating with your own journey, I encourage you to reflect on your experiences of acceptance in the comments below. Share your stories, your high tides and low tides, and connect with others who are navigating similar waters. Remember, as you explore and embrace acceptance, you're creating space for healing, not just for yourself, but for those around you. This is a lifelong journey, a dance with life that allows you to lean into each wave with confidence, compassion, and grace. Your journey of acceptance will not only guide you, but may also inspire others to embrace their own stories. Together, we craft a richer narrative of resilience, wisdom, and connection. As we move through the complexities of acceptance, it's essential to understand that this journey does not conclude there. Instead, it opens the door to the profound transformation we refer to as hope. Hope is not simply a passive feeling or a distant dream. It's an active, dynamic force that propels us forward, even in the darkest of times. Have you ever witnessed the flicker of hope emerge after a significant loss? It can often feel like a fragile light in an overwhelming darkness, yet it holds the power to guide us toward healing. In exploring hope, it's vital to differentiate between false hope and genuine hope. Elisabeth Kübler-Ross observed that false hope often rests on unrealistic expectations, leading to disappointment and disillusionment. This can manifest as thoughts like, everything will definitely be okay if I just ignore my feelings, or things will magically get better without any effort. On the other hand, genuine hope arises from an honest acknowledgement of your current circumstances, paired with the belief that the future holds potential and possibilities. Take a moment to reflect. What does hope look like for you? Is it a steady flame that warms your heart, or does it flicker uncertainly? Hope can often seem daunting to hold on to when faced with adversity, yet it serves as an essential catalyst for resilience. Imagine planting a seed in the ground. The soil is moist and the air is filled with promise. You can't see the seed's growth beneath the surface, but you tend to it with care, watering it and protecting it from harsh elements. Hope is much like that seed. Nurturing it may not yield immediate results, but with time and patience, it can blossom into something beautiful. Your willingness to foster this hope amidst hardship can pave the way for radical change. In your own life, how often do you nurture the small sparks of hope? Have you allowed yourself to dream again after experiencing pain? Genuine hope encourages you to envision a future where joy is possible, even amidst grief. It invites you to imagine how your experiences can shape a life infused with purpose. As you shift from acceptance to hope, ask yourself, what small step can I take today that aligns with my hopes for tomorrow? Hope often stems from small acts of resilience, calling a friend for support, pursuing a new hobby, or even seeking professional help. It can surface through creativity, as writing, painting, or playing music can enable you to express feelings that may feel inexpressible otherwise. Have you ever found solace in a song that resonated with your experience? Music, art, and expression can all be tributaries that feed the river of hope. As you explore hope, consider how it can be communal. Engaging with others, sharing stories of resilience and hope can fortify your own. In moments of vulnerability, when you choose to recount your fears, you often find that others share similar sentiments. This interconnectedness creates an uplifting environment where hope can thrive. Have you experienced a time when hearing someone else's story sparked hope within you? I encourage you to take this moment to reflect. Where do you find hope in your daily life? Is it in morning routines, acts of kindness, or connections with loved ones? Articulate these moments, making them tangible in your mind. The nurturing of hope can become a daily practice, establishing rituals that serve as reminders of the light waiting to emerge. If you resonate with these thoughts, I invite you to share your own experiences of hope in the comments below. Connecting with others who share your journey can create a vibrant community of encouragement and support. Remember, your words can ignite hope in someone who feels lost. As hope begins to permeate your life, you may notice a shift in your perspective. The future may no longer seem daunting, but instead filled with possibilities. Hope empowers you to embrace life fully, turning despair into determination. It opens avenues for growth and exploration, allowing light to penetrate the dark spaces. In the end, your journey through acceptance and into hope marks a powerful transformation. It is a testament to your resilience and capacity to endure. Embrace this light, letting it guide you as you continue to navigate the complexities of life. In doing so, remember that you are never alone on this path. Hope connects us all, weaving a beautiful tapestry of shared experiences, healing, and understanding. Together, may we foster hope, lighting the way forward, hand in hand. As we bring our exploration to a close, we find ourselves standing at the intersection of acceptance, hope, and the ultimate embodiment of our journey, healing. Healing is often seen as a destination, yet it is so much more than that. Healing is a continuous process, a dance in which we learn to integrate our pain into our lives, allowing it to coexist with joy and purpose. Have you ever realized that healing doesn't mean the absence of scars, but rather the transformation of those scars into symbols of resilience? Healing Dr. Kübler-Ross articulated that healing transcends physical recovery. It encompasses emotional, spiritual, and psychological dimensions. To heal is to embrace all facets of life, learning from our wounds and using our experiences as stepping stones to personal growth. Think about the challenges you have faced. In what ways did those struggles shape your character or deepen your understanding of the world? It's easy to fall into the trap of believing that healing should occur quickly within a defined timeline. However, such expectations often lead to frustration and disappointment. Instead, imagine healing as a river, fluid, ever-changing, sometimes turbulent, yet always moving forward. You may find healing in unexpected places, arising from the connections we form with others or the acts of kindness we extend to ourselves. Picture a garden watered by compassion, patience, and understanding. What flowers might bloom when you nurture that garden? When you give yourself the grace to heal, you allow growth to flourish even amidst the remnants of pain. Have you ever experienced small moments of joy that suddenly remind you of the beauty in life? Consider the weight of your past and how it might feel to begin releasing some of that burden. Often, we hold tightly to our pain, believing it defines us. However, what if it is merely a part of our narrative, not the entirety of it? Reflecting on your journey, can you identify elements of healing that have emerged from acceptance and hope? Each day presents an opportunity to nurture that healing, whether through mindfulness, connection, or self-compassion. Mindfulness is a powerful tool that encourages you to be present with your feelings without judgment. You might find comfort in the simplicity of grounding exercises, taking deep breaths, feeling your feet on the earth, or savoring a quiet moment. By practicing mindfulness, you allow yourself to fully experience emotions without the pressure to rush through or suppress them. Are there simple grounding techniques that you could integrate into your daily routine? What do you notice when you take a moment to pause? Connection with others remains vital in the healing process. Sharing your story of struggle and survival not only fosters personal connection, but also invites others to step forward with their truths. Engaging in supportive dialogues can cultivate a sense of community and collective healing. Do you have friends or family members with whom you regularly discuss your thoughts and feelings? These conversations can serve as salves for both you and your listeners, creating a web of support that strengthens resilience. Another aspect of healing is forgiveness, an act that can liberate you from the clutches of resentment. It is not always easy, and it does not condone the actions of others, but forgiving allows you to release the grip that the past has on your heart. When you forgive, you are not erasing history. Instead, you are choosing to empower your future. Is there someone in your life, be it yourself or another person, who you might consider forgiving? What would that step toward release feel like for you? As you navigate this journey, remember that healing is not linear. It ebbs and flows, much like the tides of the ocean. There will be days filled with progress as well as moments of regression. The key is to remain gentle with yourself and recognize that growth takes time. Be patient and allow healing to unfold naturally. As we conclude this narrative, I invite you to express your thoughts or experiences in the comments below. Sharing ways in which you've embraced healing could be a beautiful reflection of your journey and an encouragement to others traversing similar paths. There is immense power in community. Strength resides in unity, and every voice contributes to a larger conversation of healing and hope. Together, as we encompass acceptance, hope, and healing, we forge resilient pathways forward. This journey is uniquely yours and yet intertwined with the stories of countless others. Through every challenge and triumph, you possess the capacity to transcend your experiences, becoming a beacon of light for both yourself and those around you. Embrace the journey, recognize the beauty within your scars, and let them lead you toward a more profound understanding of healing. The river continues to flow, and your story is an essential part of this beautiful tapestry we all share.